fear has two meanings. Forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. Choice is yours. Dear chief guest, guest of honor, special guests, ladies and gentlemen, and my dear friends. From my grade 1 days, there had been one thing I had been hearing out from my parents, grandparents, and loved ones. That is, take care when you go out. There would be dogs outside. Dogs, the word itself gave me enormous fear. My mom once told me that don't show your fear to the dogs because they can sniff your fear. The pumping adrenaline inside our body caused by fear and anxiety would help them sniff our fear. And if you need more details about this, please speak to my mom. So whenever I went out of school, practices, or to meet my friends, I wanted company. I entered into grade 6, got myself enrolled into private classes, so the weekends weren't the same fun-filled ones they used to be watching Spider-Man cartoons and superhero movies. I would love to watch superheroes rescuing people when they were in trouble. Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, Captain America, and there were loads of them who would make my weekends extra joyful. But I lost all those joys after I began spending more time on private classes. My dad used to drop me to the classes and pick me after classes, so I never came across any dogs on the street. There were days the dad was not around, but then I had my tuition mates. We all came together and we did not care about the dogs, nor did the dogs came to bother us. It was one of those days that the private classes finished a little late. The sun had set and darkness had fallen. My friends ran no sooner the class was over, but I didn't bother much, but started walking as my house was just a few hundred meters away from the class. I could see people on the main road going to the mosques. Street lights were being switched on and vehicles were going up and down. But when I entered into my house lane, I felt the loneliness all of a sudden. It was quiet there and there weren't anybody on the road since it was a private road. Both sides of the road were filled with bushes and there was pin drop silence everywhere. I started walking fast. I could hear a dog howling a few yards away. Ow! I stopped right there. My heart was beating like my grandmother's garlic pounder. My house was just a few yards away, but I needed to pass that bushy area to reach the first house in the scheme, at least to ask for some help. There is no illusion greater than fear, they say. My mind was running riots. I could see two of them coming towards me. I looked behind to see whether there was anyone who could help me. No one. I understood that all those superheroes who used to rescue people in movies were all fantasy. At that moment, it was me all by myself. I took my first step and the second step. The dogs had teamed up and I can see two of them looking at me and I can hear their angry snarl in the silence which lay over me like a blanket. I took my third step and the fourth step and I didn't see any different kind of movements in them. It was just a few yards to reach them. My mind was saying, run! But I decided not. I remembered my mother's words. Don't show your fear to the dogs because they can sniff your fear. I swallowed my fear and let out my courage. I walked confidently towards them. and in no time, I was right next to them. I thought that they would pounce on me and have a mouthful of my flabby tummy. Instead, the dogs walked right past me and did nothing. I have walked past them, and then only came my father looking for me. He could not believe that I have passed 3 street dogs without any fear. And he said, "Arham, I'm so proud of you. I'm surprised that you have passed 3 street dogs with such courage." The feeling of excitement I had at that moment was something I would cherish my whole life. Plato said, "Courage is knowing what not to fear." That is why it is your choice to be courageous or cowardly. And that choice is gonna make all the difference in you, whether you turn out to be a leader who will walk through all dangers with your head held high, or to stay behind, fall behind, waiting until the dangers vanish. Thank you.